This video is brought to you by Autel Energy. Autel is a fully vertical manufacturer powering up your electric cars with a wide range of chargers, from residential AC chargers to commercial DC chargers up to 640 kilowatts and upcoming MCS offerings. Head to autelenergy.com to find the right EVSE for you. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another Out of Spec Motoring EV road trip video. Today you join me leaving our Out of Spec hub on the way to return our Lucid Air that I've been driving, and all of us have been driving and borrowing from Lucid for the last about 3.5 months. A huge shout out to Lucid for letting us do everything possible with the Lucid Air Grand Touring. This is the longest range and fastest charging Lucid on sale, and it's actually the longest range electric car we've ever tested. It's incredible on some of the stats that it's put up during our time with it. However, I've never had the chance to road trip this car. Jordan took it on a bunch of road trips back from when we picked it up the first time, and then my dad and Alex and Shane drove it in the I-90 Surge, and then my buddy Jordan drove it back here, a different Jordan. So I have not road tripped this car. So here we are, 14,200 miles into our loan, about to return it. I'm going to go on a about 1,500 mile road trip in this video. It's not a short trip where we can really dig into the Lucid and take it on its final road trip with us. I've absolutely enjoyed having this car in the fleet. We've been using the range exchange function a bunch. I've loved the handling dynamics, the over 800 horsepower that this one has, and it's not even the fast one. It's been truly world class. It's a wonderful car. That's not to say it's perfect, but it's getting close. I mean, Lucid has had a ton of improvements. Now, in the past, you and I have driven Lucids many thousands of miles together. We've cannonballed them here on this channel, so I'm familiar with the car. But for 2025, this one, there's an updated heat pump. There's updated other stuff. Can't even remember what the heck they did. Bigger battery, better charging. So we're going to go experience all of that now on our final road trip as we head to Lucid's headquarters in Newark, California. I'd like to thank Factor for sponsoring this Out of Spec video. What the heck is Factor? Well, Factor delivers ready-to-eat meals right to your house. Essentially, a box shows up with all of your selections that you went through with all the different varieties of food, and they're fresh and never frozen and ready in just 2 minutes. It's actually pretty cool. You guys know in my particular case, we're always on the go filming. We're running between different shoot locations. And it's honestly a lifesaver just to take one of these boxes, pop it in the microwave, and 2 minutes later, I have a fresh, never frozen, high quality meal ready to eat. And they also offer gourmet options, premium options. In this case, I had a nice steak dish the other day. This box is empty because I've already eaten it and it was delicious. And yeah, it's just awesome. You can basically go through, meal prep, choose exactly what you want for the entire week. It comes in a box and it can save you so much time and money when compared to eating out all of the time. They also have different options for dietary restrictions or really whatever you're looking for, including snacks and shakes and little things to get you through your day. So all you need to do is head to factor75.com and use code 50SPEC. That code will get you 50% off and free shipping with your first Factor box. Again, head to factor75.com and use the code 50SPEC for 50% off and free shipping for your first Factor box. And we've just finished up a day of filming here inside of the hub, and it's time to head out. And this is the ride. It is the 2025 Lucid Air Grand Touring, and I think it's got to be the highest mile 2025 Lucid Air Grand Touring. At least I can't imagine one with more. This thing is going to be over 15,000 miles by the time we get it returned, and it's been a wonderful car to have. I mean, we've already done all of the reviews, the range tests, test going over 500 miles on a charge. The charging test seeing well over 330, 340 kilowatt peak charging. Really curious to see how we do during this trip, if we'll see any big numbers like that. And it's just been a comfortable, wonderful car to drive. I really can't say enough good things about this car. And I have my full review and thoughts with the pros and cons, some of my nitpicks on out of spec reviews already posted. But with that said, let's take a look at the route. I got to run in, grab the cameras, and then we're going to go to California. Now it's already evening time, but it's cold out. So what is it out? It's 40 degrees. It's going to get into the 20s tonight. So this is a cold weather winter road trip at the moment. And but weather is looking okay. I'm not expecting any snow, which is good because we don't have winter tires on this car. We're on all seasons, but still want to be on winters. And yeah, we'll probably stay overnight in the Salt Lake City area tonight, and then we'll have a big day tomorrow. So we'll just hop through Wyoming today, do the long stretches. We'll see how far we can go on a charge. I just charged it up to 100%, indicating 501 miles. This car used to charge to 512, 515. I think I've even seen it show 516 when we first got it. I actually did take this car on a little mini road trip the first time, right when we picked it up. I believe it's on my personal channel, Kyle Connor, but I drove this from San Francisco to LA. So I have driven this car on trips and charged it, but not nearly as much as Jordan. So we're at 99%, obviously, in 15,000 miles of hardcore DC charging, track driving. Yeah, it's probably got a few percent of degradation after all of that. So still impressive that it charges to over 500 miles, indicated 501. And yeah, so anyway, let me get the cameras. We'll go through the route, go through the settings in the car, then we'll hit the road and go for a typical out-of-spec motoring Kyle road trip. Let's do it. Well, the sun is going down here pretty early as we're coming into the winter months in Colorado. Well, I guess all in the northern hemisphere, winter months. Let's put in our destination first. So like I mentioned, actually, we're at 14,271 miles. 99%. I just completed at 100. I actually drove around this car mostly today, just like running errands with battery preconditioning on to warm up the battery. I then went home, top charged it to 100, and then brought it over here. So we have a warm and top charged battery, which is good because when it's this cold out, you want a warm battery for maximum efficiency, yes, but also battery capacity. So we are going to navigate to Lucid in Newark. All right, let's see. Lucid Headquarters Studio, Newark. This is so fast and so snappy, by the way. You can see up here it shows a map. Down here, also same thing. Let's test the route planner. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see how it does. There's still no adjustable state of charge on arrival at charging stations. We'll go to the settings to see what's in there. It's thinking, oh, pretty good. Honestly, that's a fast route planner. That was pretty awesome. So let's see what it's thinking. It's thinking it wants us to go I-80, of course. So where the heck are we? We're here. We'll take, oh, it's interesting. It wants us to take the back way up to I-80. Well, that's a beautiful drive anyway. We'd love to do that. And then we're going to stop all the way here at 20% in Rock Springs. Okay. I mean, we'll play around with it. Jordan already showed that you can get it from California. Basically, he went from just east of LA to here with 2 charging stops. I'm not going to like cannonball this thing. We've already done everything. I'm just going to go on a normal trip. This is how I drive. I'm just going to use it. I'm going to, charge, run it deep, charge it fast, and go to the farthest away station we can. That's just my style. So that's the fastest way to road trip this as well. But I don't think we need to be taking any risks. Interesting. You can see it's really getting us in 23%, 45% state of charge. What the heck? And this one 15%, 14, 20. So it really has like a very odd charging station arrival percentage. And I don't think there's any way to do it. Yeah. So like this is downloading offline maps. So yeah, definitely want some improvements here. Jordan already mentioned that he would like a lot of trip planner improvements, but I'm already seeing like, why would it get us to a station at 45%? Maybe it's just the spacing, but then we should charge lower, because this thing charges really fast at the bottom of the battery. Like the bottom 0 to 25% is blazing, and then it slows down above that significantly. So, yeah, I guess we have 1,200 miles to go, a trip total. How do I know how long we have to get to our halfway stop? Let me pull this down. So let's see. Let's go recenter back to here. Directions. I guess I don't really know how far it is to Rock Springs. Just says time and total trip distance, but I'd like to know how far it is to Rock Springs. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just put it in manually. And then is there an easy way to see chargers pop up? Okay. I'm relearning Lucid stuff. Search here. Electrify America, Rock Springs. I'll put this in. Rock Springs. Go. So now that's our end destination. That will show me 279 miles. I mean, this thing right now, if I show you what it's telling me, how far it'll go. If I come here to displays, units, miles, distance, it's showing 498 miles. Now that's based off EPA range rating, and I know I can pretty much hit that at 70, but at like 80, 85 that we're going to be driving through Wyoming, I mean, I feel like we can go farther than 279, and the car actually agrees because it says we're going to get there at, what state of charge? 20%. And when we get closer, we'll see if I can stretch it to the next one or not. But there we go. Off we go to Rock Springs in the Lucid. Should be totally fun. Looking forward to it. By the way, for the viewers, if you're curious, I'm going to run smooth mode because this allows the rear motor to stay disconnected electrically. These are dual permanent magnet motors in the Lucid, but there's no physical clutch disconnect. So smooth mode, actually, it's pretty cool. They basically take no drag to spin them, which is really cool. And it still doesn't have automatic screen brightness, so I have to adjust that with this slider. That's interesting and annoying. What else do we have going on here in terms of settings? We're definitely going to go for the massage on deep, on full. The massage is great in the Lucid. There's so much room in this car. I guess you'll see more of it tomorrow. Really, nightfall came in pretty quick today, but we've got an appointment on Tuesday morning to bring this thing back. So it says regenerative braking temporarily reduced. That's because we're at high state of charge. I would say we need to go reset the trip computer and hit the road. So there's our trip that we've done with this car, trip A. Holy smokes. So in 14,000 miles that we've been driving this thing, we've averaged 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour in mixed conditions. So track use to highway driving, mostly highway driving. And I would say that's not as efficient as I would have expected, but it's still a really big car, and we have been pretty hard on this thing. So let's reset trip B. And what I would like to display on the screen is, since last charge, that'll be really important. And 102 miles estimated battery capacity on arrival. Wish it would show me percent there like it does in the screen here. This one shows me 20%. This one shows me miles. But if you can do both, just show both. All right, let's rock and roll. I'm actually just swinging by the office on the way out of town, and I noticed from the road that our battery's blinking here, which usually indicates a fault, but it seems to be working. I don't know. I'm going to factory reset this thing. No, it shouldn't be blinking. Last time it was blinking, it needed a reset. So yeah, let me reset this thing. Administrator, password, whoops. There we go. Hard reset. Yes. Man, this thing has been a bit buggy, if I'm honest. They're coming this week, they said, to fix it, but it's been less than a stellar reliability experience, which has been great to live with. I mean, we've been using it, but the Lucid and this don't talk to each other at the moment. I can't actually charge the Lucid on this charger. I was going to do like a 100% charge. Can the power modules even get up there? But this thing is on software that doesn't interface with Lucid. So anyway, I don't have time to wait around for this thing, but yeah, either Brandon or Zach or someone can come over here and check on it later. Yeah, it's restarted. Yeah, I hear it clicking. Hopefully things will be good. Nope, still flashing. All right. I think I'll disable the charger. It's not supposed to be flashing. I'll give them a call. And, well, it's a Sunday evening, so hopefully tomorrow morning, Monday, they can remote in and fix it or send someone up here. Now it's just stopped blinking altogether. What the heck? What is going on with our X-Charge? It thinks it's charging a car at the moment. There's no car connected. Oh no, it's all confused. Okay. Ooh, weird. Anyway, just as I was getting into the car, I noticed that everything went unavailable and then came back up, and now we are charging appropriately. So everything seems to be good. The grid is charging the battery. The power output levels are correct, although that's not the correct picture for NACS, but that's okay. It should still work just fine. That I have to fix in the software. We did like a master reset, and I think that got all confused. Oh, that sounds awesome. Okay, so we're good. Let's boogie. Well, I got super hungry, and this is the Loves I stop at often on this stretch. There's no charging here, but it's right off the highway. This stretch of Wyoming, for those who don't know, really is quite desolate. So we're about 70 miles away from our charging stop. The car has been ping-ponging between 40 and 100 miles on arrival, but it's settled in around this 65 miles, which I think should be around 15%. It will tell us 13% there. Yep. And I have to say, I've been using Dream Drive. The whole first stretch of this trip on the back roads, we couldn't use lane centering because it's limited only to pre-mapped closed access highways. But as soon as we got on I-80, it's worked flawlessly, and it's really been wonderful. It does slow down a little bit too much for the corners and gets a little bit confused on like the tight corners, but most of I-80 is just dead straight, and it's just been doing everything. It does auto lane changes. The only time it doesn't is if I pass a truck and their headlights seem to be blinding me, then I have to do a manual lane change. But if you're out of the view of the like main brightness of the headlights, then the car does auto lane changes, no problem at all. I don't think we'll be able to go past this one and stretch to the next, so I really think this 13% arrival is good, and our efficiency's been pretty good considering it's 25, 26 degrees out most of this trip, so it's chilly. So what's that, minus 5, 7 degrees Celsius, minus 5 degrees Celsius, I think, something like that. And the weird thing is I have to keep the heat on absolutely cranking. It's not at maximum. I think that's 1 degree higher. So I'm 1 off of max heat, and that's just enough to stay comfortable. I've got the heated seat on full, no heated steering wheel, but this is like what I would expect like 75 to feel like in most cars is what this one's at 85. And I called my buddy Shane, who has a resistive heater version of a Lucid. He has an older one, and he's like, no, I keep mine at 72 in the winter all the time. And I'm like, okay, maybe the heat pump cars need a little bit better cabin tuning for cold temperatures. We've had this car in hot weather too, and it's worked wonderfully. But up here in cold temps, yeah, it really needs to keep that thing up all the way. What else is there to say? It's so comfortable. The massaging seats are wonderful. The sound system improvements since we have this car has made it really fun. Oddly, Spotify has gone missing. So you can see here my Spotify recents are here, but it won't activate. And gone is Spotify from my app switcher. I was listening to it, and then the music paused and it said server error, and then it's missing completely. And if I come here to our applications, this is normally where you log into Spotify. It's just evaporated. I've never seen like an app uninstall itself. And this is like a native built-in app to the car. It's weird. Definitely a bug. I'm gonna, when we're charging, hold the Air logo down and do like a soft reset there. And with all that said, everything's going well here. Car's super comfy, super quiet, really nice. And our efficiency, again, not bad. 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour so far. We've done 207 miles. and we still have 34% left. So this is really a 300-mile range car at 80 to 85 miles an hour. You can see I had cruise set at 84 there, and in cold temperatures. So certainly 200 miles less than the maximum that we got at 70 miles an hour. Conditions really affect range in electric cars, especially the more efficient they are, the more the external conditions affect it. But it's still cool that this thing can do 300 in these conditions without breaking a sweat. It's really, really a good feeling, good to know. But it's also a huge battery. I mean, this battery is almost the size of my Cybertruck battery. This is 118 kilowatt hours. Maybe we're down like 2 kilowatt hours from new. And the Cybertruck's 123. So, okay, you would expect 300 miles out of it then. Anyway, I'm going to run into the store. So what I'm going to do is keep climate on. So keep mode, enable. That should keep everything nice and toasty for when I run in, get some snacks, and then we'll head back out to the charger. Oh yeah, got a sandwich, some snacks, some waters. We're ready to rock and roll. Dream drive. Pretty good lane centering, enough to do it. Enough to eat a sandwich, I think. Please unlock. There we go. And in we go. Sometimes when I open the door, the headlights shut off for like a quarter of a second. It looks like a little glitch. Anyway, I can nitpick all day, can't I? That's not the point. It's a nice car, and it stayed nice and warm in the cabin. Now, the question is, will it fire right up? No, I think you have to press and hold, and then it wakes up. In reverse, Terry, and off we go to Rollins. It was so funny. Last time I was in Rollins, I think that's the spot with my favorite hibachi place. I had the Cybertruck, and it was charging so slow on the old version 2 superchargers. This whole stretch has V2 supercharging at it. I really can't wait for them to put in some mega chargers out here with the V4 stuff. But I didn't realize that the EA station was literally right across the street. So I'm hoping that's where we'll be able to go. And normally I'd stop at the hibachi restaurant for dinner, but I'm pretty sure they'll be closed by the time we roll through. Plus, I've got my sandwich. So all good. Let's rock and roll. Back up to speed and hammer down. We have arrived to our first charging stop. So we went 274.7 miles from 100% down to 9%. That is where like range matters. So Lucid's argument sometimes, or maybe they didn't say, this is my impression, is they always say, okay, if you get a long enough range, you don't need crazy fast charging because you can skip chargers and continue. But when you have like any sort of adverse weather conditions, then it all comes down to charging performance because you have to stop and charge. So even though this car can go over 500 miles, and I've done it, it can't do it in 20-degree temperatures at 80 miles an hour. So what we're going to do is, because it's kind of chilly outside, is not available due to low battery. Interesting. So normally the climate mode shut off at 2% state of charge, but it won't let you activate them. So anyway, the battery went automatic preconditioning about 50 miles away, and it is still preconditioning, and I can feel the motors pulsing a little bit, which they do. And it actually keeps, when you're in park, when the battery's preconditioning, it keeps the brakes locked on with the brake lights on, which is kind of funny. We'll open up the charge port here, or I can, of course, hit it down there. Whoa, all ice here. Got to be super duper careful. And let's get this thing plugged in. So these are all shared BTC power units. This is just sheet ice. Welcome to winter time. Can't freaking wait. All right. Let's get this thing plugged in. Can I do it one-handed with these cold cables? The answer is yes. So let's see if plug and charge will work. It says connecting to vehicle. Yeah, not super cold out here. 20 degrees is fine. It's just the beginning of winter, so we've got to get used to it. Plug and charge worked. It authorized the unit. Interesting, the fans are just pushing straight cold air out of this thing. Welcome driver. It says 2022 Lucid Air Charge Plan 2-year. This is a 2025 Lucid Air, in case anyone was wondering. But this is one of my first charging sessions with this car, so really looking forward to seeing how it goes. And I guess we can wait in the car and take a look, because it is quite chilly out here. 9%. Oh, baby, 190. We're ripping. Can we do more? Or is it just a cold battery? 197. I mean, I'll take 200 kilowatts. I'll take 200 kilowatts. It's not amazing at the moment, but we'll take it. We'll see if it warms up a bit. I mean, it preconditioned for the last 45 minutes nonstop. So hopefully that would have been enough. But I haven't really had these Lucids in cold temperatures. I was ripping cabin heat, of course, and I believe it will tell us when the charging station is the limitation. There's 200 kilowatts. And it is not indicating that the charger is our limit. So that's everything the car wants right there. And yeah, I'll keep you updated on the charge. Oh no, it does say limited by station. Boom. Should we move? Definitely we should move. Limited by station. Is that a whole site limitation? So I think what I'll do is I'll go down there. Let's go try that one. All right, we were plugged in down there. Now we're on this one. The thing is, I don't know if this one shares with the one we were on down there because they're not labeled as to which one shares with this, which one. You would think two of them would share, and two of them would share. But no, sometimes they just wire them weird. So, okay, here we are. Lucid charging plan, 2-year, continue. So plug and charge, working wonderfully here. Fingers crossed we can see more than just 200 kilowatts. I mean, this is a 118 kilowatt hour battery pack. The car's 130 grand. I want mega charging performance. Oh, here we go. Yeah, baby. 292. All right. 294. Now I'm feeling like we're in the groove. That's what a Lucid road trip's all about. 300 kilowatts. 304. Let's go. All right, why am I excited? I'm just screaming in the back of a parking lot about 300 kilowatt charging on a battery-powered car. People in Wyoming must be like, what the heck is wrong with you? 315 we just peaked at. That was awesome. Now it might be working its way down. Okay, I'm going to jump in the car. It's cold. Oh, so it's walking its way down pretty quickly here, straight after plugging in. But at least we saw a big peak. Just wish it had the Taycan flat charging curve. So anyway, we're charging. 270 kilowatts. Curious to see how this goes and if we can sustain. I feel like I need to babysit this car because I don't fully understand when and why it does powered. Like, it's going back up. Why? It makes no sense. I don't get it. I've never seen a car charge like this thing. It's just Lucid, unpredictable charging behavior. So anyway, I'll take it. We're getting good speeds, so that's really good. I'm going to see if I can leave climate on. Yes. Keep climate. That way it's not going to shut off. Still ripping the heater because it's, I would say, a nice, comfortable temperature in here. It's warm, but not hot or anything. And we're sitting at 285 kilowatts. So now we need to plan our next stop, which is going to be, I got to put this thing into Northup. Does it show you where the chargers are? I wish it would show me an overview as to where the chargers are. I'm pretty sure there's one in Evanston, right? There's got to be a way to see charging location. Hello? Whoops. This one here, charging. Yeah. Rock Springs is where we are. Okay, so there's Rock Springs. There's Salt Lake City. Will it show us search this area? I have to search for like individual areas. It's annoying. I wish it would just have all the chargers placed on the map. So now I want to go here. If I pull this down, does that tell me what it is? Evanston, 91 miles away. Go. What would we get there with if we left right now? 0%. It doesn't say by how much 0. So there is a, let's see, Rock Springs. It wants us to charge to 41% to get there. I'm confused. What? Anyway, okay, 0. Sometimes it'll tell you where it thinks you'll run out, though. Anyway, 100 miles. We should be able to do that at, what, 33%, something like that? 35%? That's when we'll leave and head out. As soon as I know we can make it the 100 miles comfortably, then we'll blast. We are now at 32% state of charge, all the way down to 240 kilowatts now, which is still not the end of the world. I mean, it's still ripping along just pretty okay. Not class-leading charging performance, but not terrible to say the least. Really not bad. We've added 100 miles of rated range, which is really like, what, 70 miles? We're getting, what, 7/10? Maybe 60 to 70 miles real world in our 5 minutes of being plugged in. That's pretty damn good. 26 kilowatt hours. So what I'm going to do actually is I think we're going to skip this whole Evanston idea and just not do the splash and dash thing, because I've got to catch up on a couple emails. I'm just going to charge up here because we're not in a race. We're not cannonballing. We've already done all that with this car. We're just going to charge up enough to get to my hotel. I'm going to figure out what hotel that is, book it, and then we'll go there. By the way, that's the supercharger, and that's the hibachi restaurant. If you're ever here, go get food there. It's awesome. Well, I just went through and booked a hotel. You can see we're already down to 130 kilowatts at 53%. So really not charging fast here at all. This car loves to be run to 0 and charge just enough to make it to the next station. But you can see, interestingly, this is where the car thinks we'll run out. So even though it doesn't tell us a negative % on arrival, we can roughly gauge how far away we'll run out from the charger. Now, I believe this doesn't reset every time. I don't think it like dynamically gets closer as we charge. So I think what we need to do is like end and put in the True by Hilton Salt Lake City Airport and hit go. And then it will just show us, you know, as we're gaining energy. I have to recalculate every time. It doesn't do it while charging. I think is what the guys were telling me from the I-90 surge. Anyway, that would be a nice update. Yeah, you can see now we'll make it a bit farther. Oh yes. Just like right down the street. And I'm pretty sure I could stretch it there if I wanted to. However, the one thing I am concerned about, and you always should be with hotel charging, is, it's never guaranteed to get a level 2 spot overnight. So a lot of time on road trips, you guys will ask, how do you find your hotels? What do you do? Well, the first thing I do actually is I always go to PlugShare and I sort by lodging. And then it tells me, okay, what level 2 chargers are there at hotels along my route? And then I look to see, okay, is it, I typically am Hilton or Marriott. If possible, I don't really care too much, but, like I love Holiday Inn Express, so I'm cool with that too. But I'll see, like, is it a hotel I like? I typically personally like the big box hotels. I want a consistent experience wherever I go. And so I check that out. Then I see how many stalls there are available in the PlugShare app. And this one in particular has 4 available, and they're ChargePoint chargers, and they show real-time station, which is cool availability, but, it's not always guaranteed because they could be iced in by the time I get there. Now, it's Sunday evening. Most people have already made it to where they need to go. So I'm expecting to get a level 2 charge tonight. Not a full charge because it's only 6 or 7 kilowatts. But it's always good to put in a bit extra to make it to a DC charger if the hotel doesn't have charging. You don't ever want to 100% rely on that level 2 hotel charger. I hope there's a system one day or something we could totally rely on. We've just been burned so many times not getting a level 2. We always think of it as a boost overnight. The car's charging. It's great. Gets farther the next day. It saves more time. But it's just more of a bonus. So you hope for the best, but you plan for the worst. And, man, the worst right now, 120 kilowatt charging at 58%. That's brutal. That's brutal. So I'm feeling like we really need to get the heck out of here as soon as possible. This is just very, very slow charging. And you can see, yeah, this has not updated in real time whatsoever. So I'm going to end it. I'm going to search it again. And then it should say, okay, we can make it now, is my guess. And then once I know we can make it, I'm going to make sure we can make it to a nearby DC charger, which I know there's some on the west side of town here because we've stopped at them on road trips before. Yes, we can make it now. What does it say we'll get there with? It doesn't actually know. That's weird. But, because there's no cloud? What the heck? So it's not doing route planning because there's no internet, but there is internet because it just loaded the photos of it. Anyway, I know we can make it. I'm just going to make sure we totally can make it to a DC charger, and then we'll unplug and go. Well, if we got 300 miles getting here, that would be 6 times 3. 60 times 3 would be 180 miles. It's 186 to go. So we're actually at 62 miles. So it would be perfectly 300 miles to go. And we also lose some elevation. So for whatever reason, this is not giving us a real-time calculation, but the car at least thinks we'll make it. It just doesn't say at what percent. And there's a FreeWire DC fast charger that's actually online and working according to PlugShare. I just need to get out of here without slipping and falling. There's a FreeWire DC charger literally right next to the hotel. So if the level 2 doesn't work, we can always throw this on the DC fast charger. And certainly it doesn't feel appropriate to be charging at 116 kilowatts in a Lucid Air. That just seems dumb. So we're going to stop this terrible charging session. Again, I think that's representative roughly of what the car should do here. I don't remember our exact charging curves. There we go. We'll put the cable back. We'll hit the road. But we did, 62 kilowatt hours in 20 minutes. Not terrible. By the way, before we head out, I just want to mention, Spotify came back. We're good. It came back actually right there. Boom, mint. That's all I listened to. Yep, and it says 38 miles on arrival. So that's fine. Not the best, but yes, we got Spotify back. I don't know what happened to it, but it was right after we got out of Love's. It magically decided to have Spotify again. Okay, well, let's get the heck out of here and go. Okay, if that's the charging performance of the Lucid, call me a little bit disappointed because it's not the end of the world. It feels better than my Rivian, way better than my Rivian. But like that shouldn't be the benchmark. It should be better than Taycan. It should be better than EQS. Shouldn't be that. That's because it's not like we're getting the range in these conditions. So like if you can get the range and the warmth, then who cares? Okay, a little bit longer charge. But when your car literally only does 300 miles in these conditions, give me the fast charging. Okay, we all know how I feel about this. Time to jump up on the highway. We have arrived to our hotel for the night, finally, because I'm really feeling tired. 12:30 a.m. I don't know why I'm so out of it, but hey, Dream Drive was awesome. I mean, I'm certainly awake enough to drive, but Ready for bed. Let's do that. So we did 466.1 miles. We used 161 kilowatt hours. Amazing how conditions can really impact speed. And we got almost 3 miles per kilowatt hour doing that. We've arrived here at 10% state of charge. So we overcharged a bit, but that's what you always do when you stay at a hotel. Now, thankfully, there are these charge point stations here, which I will tap to activate and then plug into the car. And because this is such a big battery and all of these chargers are so slow, we won't be filled up overnight. However, the Lucid does support 80 amp AC charging, just not enough high power here, unfortunately. We are plugged in and charging. Love to see it. It's only a 6 kilowatt charger, so it will be done in about a day, 20 hours. So I don't know, we'll get a few percent overnight, maybe up to 30, 40, 50%, something like that. Still better than nothing. May as well book a hotel. It was not very expensive to stay here, about $100 for the night, which is unusually cheap. I'm pretty surprised at the price, to be honest. And one of my favorite things about Hilton, Marriott has it too, but I find it works better at Hilton, is I can check in on my phone and use my phone as a key, so I don't even have to go to the front desk. I can just go straight to my room to something. Perfect. Good morning from Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City FBI right over there. Pretty cool. Here's the Lucid. Got a Volt that showed up. Sweet. And what are we charged up to? I just clicked the preconditioning. I slept in. Actually got a little bit of work done this morning too, even though we really need to boogie to California today. We're at 51%. So that should be more than enough to skip charging here in Salt Lake and head to basically the Salt Flats. Should we take this out on the Salt Flats? Probably not. I feel like it really does ruin a car. Not ruin a car, but it can pepper up the paint and get salt in places. And I didn't ask Lucid. I'm sure they'd say yes, but that's something you ask before you take someone else's very nice, expensive car out on the Salt Flats. So we will be avoiding that in this one today. But we'll at least go by the Bonneville Salt Flats. Always love to go through there. Have maxed out many cars out there on the flats. It's always fun. Salt fever, as we call it. Anyway, let's take a look at the stats. The screen, literally can't even see the screen. No idea. So that's just destroyed. Gonna run to Starbucks and then we're gonna get on the road. I'll show you guys kind of on the map where we are, what the progress looks like, so you can roughly see. We knocked, the first 500 miles off. I think we have like another 750 to do today. It really shouldn't be too bad. Maybe 1,000. I don't know. Let's take a look at navigation. Heat's ripping at the moment. I will say, I was complaining about the heat in terms of the temperature, but that's not on the output of the car. The car gets warm. No complaints about that. Okay, let's go north up. Zoom out. So we're here in Salt Lake City. We left Denver right over here, basically just north of Denver, and we went up to I-80 and through Wyoming into Utah. Today we're going Utah to Nevada and then into California over here to the San Jose area. We're going to go by Sparks, Nevada, which is Gigafactory, first Gigafactory, where they make Tesla Semi and Panasonic battery cells and some other stuff. Drive units as well, if I remember correctly. And then, it's just a beautiful drive, very Western, very desert vibe. I absolutely love the I-80 cruise over this way. And then, of course, we'll head down into the San Francisco, San Jose area to Newark. So that's our plan. Our first charging stop isn't that far away. So there's a charger here right at the border. That's also where the time zone changes into Pacific time. So it's 8:30 a.m. West Coast time. So that's going to be probably our first charging stop, but I'll see, of course, if we can stretch it farther. Let's just get on the road, get Starbucks, and then I'll plug everything in the nav and see how it goes. Actually, let's just see what it thinks the route plan should be. If I put in, doesn't even, did it change? Yeah, it changed profiles. We were using this profile yesterday. Don't know why, because it's my same phone as a key. So yeah, we'll load up this profile, then it should save our addresses from yesterday. As it loads. Load preferences, no. I think everything stayed where I need it to stay. We just want to go to Lucid headquarters, Newark. Go. Thinking. Still thinking. There we go. And it says EV go in 6 minutes. And then, what the heck? So it thinks we're not even going to make it 100 miles to West Wendover. We're at 51% state of charge. It's literally only 120 miles at the very most to West Wendover, right over there. So I'm going to ignore remove charging stops. And then it will tell us where it thinks we'll run out, which is clearly after that charging station. So yeah, that's going to be our first charge there in West Wendover. Let's do it. Welcome to one of my favorite places on earth, the Bonneville Salt Flats. Now, I'll drive the car out there just to get a photo or two, but you definitely don't want to go sliming around right now. It's a little bit wet. This is compacted, so that's fine surface. But yeah, I'm not here to ruin the car, but it is just such a cool place surrounded by basically nothing. You can see the curvature of the earth if you look out far enough. There's mirages in every direction. This is not where I have maxed out cars in the past. It shows a 5% arrival to the charging station now. That's because we were boogieing through the desert. Man, this thing loves the speed. The faster you drive it, the better it gets at, I won't even say what we were doing, but it's just amazing. This thing loves to be hammered over long distances. The efficiency is in the toilet, but for good fun. And battery should be totally warmed up by the time we get to the charging station. So yeah, I'll grab some photos of the car here because it just looks absolutely epic, doesn't it? And then we'll get moving. It's only like, 10, 12 miles to the charging station that way. Just a little excursion out here. It's so freaking sick. I love it out on the salt. Man, I could spend days out here just messing around. It's so fun. We have arrived to the West Wendover EA station. We've been here so many times on this channel. If I come over here, let's just take a look. Whoops, settings, 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour. Let's keep climate off. We don't need it. 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour on that stretch, but it was fun. It was worth it. And honestly, out here in the desert, that is kind of how fast you drive. Dream Drive goes up to 90 indicated, which is a little bit higher than the actual speed. So that's kind of where you're just stuck at. So let's see if plug and charge will work. It should. Battery should be toasty. And let's take a look to see what type of charging performance we can get. This is a two-hander. In we go. We are connected, and I think I saw on the app one of the 350 kilowatt stations was derated. I don't know what to expect. I have almost PTSD from charging Lucid's plug-in charge worked at the Signet stations because this is what gave us so many problems, the old Signet surge. But that has been fixed now. It says, welcome driver, 2022 Lucid Air charge plan. And let's take a look at the performance here. Some of this mud and dirt is actually from the Colorado side, so I don't think we got any salt on the car, which is good. I went really slow driving on the salt so we didn't get it over the car and knocked my shoes off best I could. The salt will really get stuck in your shoes if you're not careful. So I hear it's spinning up, 210 kilowatts already, 3% state of charge. Can we get more? I feel like we also saw a 200 kilowatt thing yesterday. It's spinning up the power modules, 238. Come on, another one. Let's go. 240. I mean, that's not the end of the world, but it should be doing over 300 kilowatts here. 250. Come on. 260. Little hamsters are working for the cable cooling. Getting up 265. 268. I feel like we should be doing over 300 kilowatts. 270, still climbing. Let's look in the car and see if it has any indications for us. Beautiful day, no wind. It is chilly, so keep in mind that these efficiencies, it was like, low 30-degree temperatures this whole time as well. 278 kilowatts, not saying limited by charger, although sometimes it takes a minute for that to pop up. 280. I mean, we really should be over 300 now, but it could just be the slow ramp of the Signets. Soft close working, fans ripping on the car right now. Whoa. Perhaps I got it a bit too warm blasting through the desert, which is totally possible because it was preconditioning and we ripped on it. 290. Come on, baby, let's go. I want to see 300. 292. Well, we'll take it. At least we're getting a really mega charge, so it's nothing to complain about getting over 290 here at the moment. You can see someone was out on the salt flats and left it. I see a lot of Rivian owners come through here and go on the salt flats. There we go. Did I just see 300? 297, 299, 300. Hell yeah. Love it. 301. Still boogieing. All right, well, I'm going to let this thing charge. Over 300 kilowatts right now going into the Lucid. And we'll see where the next stop is. We'll see, we'll charge until it tapers measurably and then see when we can make it to the next. This thing is boogieing. 313 kilowatts here at 13%, which I think it should do more, but hey, we'll take it. The HVAC systems are ripping. Again, I have climate off for the car, front and rear. So just heated seat, which shouldn't affect it. And the AC compressor is spinning. So we probably got the battery pretty toasty, but at least it's sitting above 300 kilowatts. That's freaking awesome. So what we're going to look for now is our charging stops along the way. So I'm going to zoom out. I believe Battle is the next one, and that's somewhere like over-ish here. Hold on. Let's zoom out. Search. I wish it would just automatically pop up. Let's see how far this one is. It said roughly 90 miles. So it said we need to charge here until 53%. And then we'd make it at 20. So to me, that's 33%. We'd make it at 0. We're at 16, still doing 300 kilowatts. So I feel like we can easily do that. And that actually could be a good lunch stop because there's some stuff around there as well. If I remember correctly, it's at like a little shopping. Oh, that's Elko. Okay. So Elko, but what's this one? Carlin. I thought there was like another one out here somewhere charging. Gosh, that's Battle Mountain. Okay. That's the one that I was feeling could be a good next stop. We'd need 70%, and it's 180 miles, and it is all high speed. So yeah, we'll see what we're doing around 35, 40% if we want to have some buffer to get to the first stop. And then, yeah, I mean, the efficiency just isn't great when you're driving fast. And that's where the charging performance like we're getting now is so key to offset that poor efficiency. We are now at 36% state of charge, and it's 110 miles to go to get to the next station. Now, if I come here and remove, it says we'd get there at 3% state of charge, 110 miles at 37. But I feel like we've been driving faster than we will, and there's no wind at the moment. maybe some elevation, but I feel like 3% is pretty good. Let's wait till this pops up to a 5% arrival, and then we'll go. So I think I have to hit go. We're going to go to Elko just because we're already down to around 200 kilowatt charging. Yeah, 209. I don't really want to charge below 200 kilowatts. Just feels wrong. So remove charge stops. Super important. 5% arrival. Let's go. I love the quick splash and dash. Now with the Lucid, I could stay here all day and go, skip the next 2 chargers and drive slow, but it also allows me the flexibility to take advantage when we're charging fast. We were here for 9 minutes. We put in 43 kilowatt hours, and I feel like that's a pretty good time for a stop. So 9-minute quick top, splash and dash. And the stations out here are pretty close to the highway, which is good. Yeah, 44 kilowatt hours, just on the low side of 10 minutes. Let's go. Plug and charge. Worked great. Charging session rip. Fans are boogieing on the car right now. We got it nice and toasty. Time to throw it in reverse. And we are off to Elko, Nevada. Plus, it's kind of fun for me. I like to look at all the different charging stations along the way, check in on them, see how they're doing. So I like the quick stop. Some of our viewers don't. Some of you guys would prefer to do a longer stop and then go farther. That's totally cool too. And you know what? The time isn't all that different. This is still technically faster as long as the charger is close to the highway and the handshake times are quick. This, we've proven many times that this is the fastest way to travel. It also cures boredom out here in the desert because you're just driving forever with nothing to see. So I feel like that helps to do this type of style of driving. But if you got a family and you want to stop and get some Pizza Hut, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Nothing wrong at all. Beautiful roads that way. We're going to go. I like how that says downtown Wendover, but there's literally nothing there. So maybe that's the future planned downtown. Anyway, off we go. By the way, I should have mentioned, I didn't log it, but our efficiency on that last leg was like 2.45 miles per kilowatt hour or so. So under 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. But that, again, cold and high speed. But I'm not talking like, triple digit. We were just cruising at, high 80s, low, nothing really more than 90 cruising on the screen, which the speedometer's off. So high 80s, which, speed limit's 80 out here. You just burn a lot of juice at speed, and it's cold, and that's what happens. So this 500-mile car really turns into a 300, 280-mile car out here in cold highway cruising, which still is very impressive compared to other electric cars that I've driven out here that struggle to get 180 miles of charge. This is doing it like 280. So, I'm pleased with the range. It's just, you have to understand that drive cycle drastically impacts the total range of an electric car, especially when it's so efficient. Welcome to Elko, the old ABB units here. These should rip. We're at 4% state of charge, so we timed that perfectly, and I've just shut climate off. You cannot precondition the battery down this low. I think because it knew we were getting here dead, it didn't auto precondition. So about 20 minutes out or so, I checked and I was like, oh boy, we probably should be preconditioning, just based off of when this thing does precondition pretty early, I would say. So I'm going to get it plugged in and then we'll talk a little bit more about that. Well, here we go. We are plugged in. We're connecting to vehicle, and I hear contactors clicking, plug and charge, working great. Man, isn't that a nice experience? No fiddling with the app, just plug in the car and charge. The simple things that took years to get sorted out reliably. I'd say so far it's been working great. So yeah, what was interesting was it didn't auto precondition because I think the car knew we were going to get here at low state of charge. So it offers manual preconditioning. So I hit that about 20 minutes ago. And then at about 4%, 5%, 6%, I can't remember exactly, I had it on the preconditioning screen and it wouldn't let me cancel. And it was like precondition, like cancel preconditioning was grayed out. But then I changed the menu and went back, and actually what was grayed out in the same menu was preconditioning. So I think it was just a bug in the text because I thought it was still preconditioning, but I'm fairly certain it auto shut off preconditioning on the way over here, you know, just like, I don't know, a few minutes away. So probably not a big deal. And we're doing over 300 kilowatts right there. 300. Why are we going down though? We got to go the other way. And climate's off on the car. So that's, maybe it'll go back up. I don't know. We've seen some weird things with this. 295, 285. What? No. Go back up. Okay, weird performance for sure. And charger's just sitting at 281, 279. I'll see what happens. I mean, it's not like we're charging slow. Certainly faster than when we unplugged in West Wendover. It is a beautiful drive. The driver assistance has been wonderful, by the way, truly wonderful on the straight roads. I absolutely love that. However, when you get into the twisty roads going through like some of those mountain passes, it really does start to fall apart around there. So, this is not good. We're down to 250 kilowatts. 260. Oh, now it's going back up. It doesn't say limited by charging station, so it's what the car wants. Maybe we just hit a temperature threshold. This is what I'm talking about with Lucid. I just wish this was way more consistent and predictable, and I knew what the heck was going on, because it's always a guessing game as to why you're charging fast or slow or what's happening. But it doesn't say limited by charging station, so I'm not going to unplug. It just could be temperature. Yep, everything is off. Front and rear climate is off. So we'll let the car do its thing. This is kind of a car that it's best to just plug in and walk away, because this, we should be over 300 kilowatts here without question. As we saw last charging session, why is that not repeatable? Are we walking back up now? 275? No, it's just kind of surging around there. Must be hitting some thermal limit somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to let this thing charge. I'm going to run in, use the restroom, do everything, monitor it from my phone, but it seems like a pretty weak sauce charging session. This is a 118 kilowatt hour pack, and high voltage car, it really should be charging better than this. And, you know, it doesn't really make sense to do more than 150 mile stretches in this one, because the efficiency at high speed is not great. If you're in city traffic, if you're in California where the speed limits are much lower, maybe it starts to make sense. There we are, back up to 275. The more I look at it, the more confused I get. So we're just going to ignore the wacky charging performance, and I got to go pee. So I'm going to go inside, pee, maybe see if there's some food around here. Maybe next stop, yeah, there's something over there. I'm not super hungry yet. But yeah, let's just take whatever time we need at this charging stop, and then we'll look at our options once I'm done doing what I need to do. All right, just coming back from inside of Walmart. Let's take a look at the stats. The fans are absolutely screaming on this thing. And yeah, wow, down to 180 kilowatts at 40%. Now that seems pretty normal. I'm fairly certain at 50% we see about 155, 160. So I don't think we're too far off our theoretical best curve. We've been here 11 minutes, put in 45 kilowatt hours. Again, it just feels wrong to charge a Lucid Air under 200 kilowatts. It just feels like we're going so slow. Let's look at our charging stops. Where are we off to next? We are going to go to Lucid headquarters. So let's start by Lucid headquarters. Go. And see how this will work out. So we're 527 miles away. We could do it on one charge if we drove really slow, but that would be awful. The car thinks we need 1, 2, 3 charging stops to do 500 miles. It wants to get to Battle Mountain at 23%. If we left now, it's only 71 miles. Then it's 125 to Lovelock. So what we really should see is, since we're already here at 44%, we should try and skip this one, even though it's right off the highway, but we've already charged deep enough. We should try and go to Lovelock. So let me end the trip, go to charging. This is a bit cumbersome. Think. Okay, what's this one? Winnemucca, 103 miles. What would we get there with if we remove charging stops? 10%. Let's go. That seems like a good stop. 10% state of charge, and we're doing 165 kilowatts. So that's like brutal performance. Like my Model 3 charges at 165 kilowatts around here. What the heck? 45%, 165 kilowatts. Let's go. I'm not going to wait for this thing. 50 kilowatt hours in 12 minutes. Again, if anyone asks about the costs, this car comes with free charging. Or at least this one does. I don't know. It says it's on some inclusive plan. It's not billing me either way because of plug and charge. 51 kilowatt hours, 12 minutes. Sweet. Let's boogie. Lovelock? No, Winnemucca. Winnemucca? I don't know. Me and pronunciations. Never good. Let's do it. 100 miles, 45%. Gosh, that should be more than easy in this thing. We can boogie. So let's hammer down. We have arrived, and our efficiency this leg, it should be pretty good actually. Yeah, 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour, best of the trip so far. And we've arrived at 11% state of charge. This is after us, saying we'd get here at around 10%. There's an R1S charging over here. Awesome. I'm going to get us plugged in, and then, let's do that. Probably go get some Taco Bell over there. And here we are charging, but only at 175 kilowatts. Typically, this would mean that the second power module for the ABB charger is not spinning up, and that is a 350 kilowatt charger. I plugged in there to avoid the 150 here, and yep, there we go, limited by power station. So this charger is only 50% operational, which for some cars you wouldn't even notice, but for the Lucid, yep, we're down on power. So yeah, this is where maybe doing a deep charge at the previous station may have actually helped us. But anyway, there's food here, so that's good. And it's not like we're racing. We're just cruising charger to charger. And so I don't mind if we do a little bit of a deep charge this particular charging session. We'll just sit at 175 kilowatts because that's all the charger will give us. And the R1S is on the other 350, so it doesn't make sense to switch because it's the same as a 150 kilowatt station, essentially. So you can see an hour, 40 minutes. Oh no. Anyway, but we're not going to charge up to full, obviously. So yeah, let's go get some food. I will say one real downside of driving an electric car is, you want to do something to occupy your time while you're charging. And so we're just in the, back of a parking lot over there, obviously. And the food's over here, which this is great. I'm not complaining about this. It's great to have food. But so many charging stops just have no amenities, no food, no snacks. And you end up eating really unhealthy. And that's something I've been thinking about a lot, is just how to be a little bit healthier. And driving an electric car is not conducive to it. So what you need to do actually is like charge your car, wait there while it charges, then go to another location where you can get something good to eat, and then get back on the road. And it just keeps extending your time on travel. No question, driving a combustion car is faster from A to B. I'm not trying to say that EVs are the best thing on the planet for this type of driving. I enjoy it because it gives a sense of adventure. You're optimizing the car. It really is fun and cool. And I think that's why you guys watch these videos too, because it is fun to try to optimize. But certainly there are downsides. And if you're just trying to get from A to B as quickly as possible and, just find amenities or food or something that works for you, well, it's a little bit difficult to do that because you're kind of stuck with wherever they put the chargers. And yeah, just the nature of driving electric. Just finished up lunch and heading back to the car. It held 175 kilowatts till it intercepted the, natural taper point of the charging curve. Oh, this guy's going this way. We'll go this way. And yeah, all is good then. So really enjoying it. And, hey, if we got a little bit slower charge and we got some food, that's awesome. Man, the views here are epic. We're going to head back to the car and see where our next charging stop should be. We'll stretch it to the farthest one. And if we can't quite make it to one, I think we just stay here and charge until we can. I'd really like to, do some big range now, especially as I think we're going to get some warmer weather heading west. Maybe not though, because we still have Donner Pass and all that stuff to go through, right? Don't we? So yeah, it's the efficiency's coming up though. Sun's out, beautiful skies, no wind, almost perfect conditions other than the temperature. So let's take a look, see how much farther we have to go. Normally I would switch to the other stall now that the R1S is gone, but we're not going to charge any faster because we're already tapered below 175 kilowatts. And here we are back at the Lucid. I am going to miss this car. This is my first real trip in this one, and it really just makes covering miles so nice. The seats are comfortable. It's so much less buggy than other Lucids that I've been in, and we've charged up pretty high. We're up to 64%, 23-minute stop. We've put in almost a full base Model 3, 63 kilowatt hours going in there already. So let's take a look at some stuff inside here. Will it unlock? Come on, thank you. And will we hit the pole? Oh, look at that perfect parking job. Here we are, 138 kilowatts, no longer limited by charging station because this is how fast it charges. And yeah, let's go figure out where the heck we want to go. I think we have found our next charging stop, Truckee, California. So we can really stretch it all the way past Reno. How awesome is that? And it's how many miles away is it? 200 miles or so. But keep in mind, Truckee's at super elevation. Now the car is predicting an 11% arrival, and that just updated in real time while charging. That's awesome. Okay, so it does do that. And I think we'll just put in a little bit more buffer, a couple more minutes, and then we'll head out, only because of that huge elevation game. And then that should be kind of our last charging stop there in Truckee. It can get busy. It's busy right now, but hopefully by the time we get there, things have settled down. But we'll see how it goes. It looks like a 4-stall site. All is fully operational. There's one available right now, but you can't judge that in the future. So yeah, I think we'll charge to 74%, and then hit the road. Well, that really wasn't that bad. 30-minute stop up to 75%. I love the fast charging 15, 18 minutes from 10 to 80, something like that. And this car certainly can perform better if this station wasn't limited, but it still doesn't feel that bad when you stop and get a bite to eat. And then you come back with such a high state of charge with so much energy capacity in this car. This car at 75% is equivalent to many other electric cars at 100%. And the fact that we're able to do over 200 miles of highway driving at high speed is pretty good. It's not Taycan, but we're not far away here, folks. And I think the efficiency will even get better. 76%. I've been standing here talking too much. Let's hit stop. Let's unplug. Sometimes you got to break the charging session by hitting the top button there. I try not to do that because it does just kind of open the contactors a little bit quickly, but sometimes this doesn't get the stop command, and there's no like soft stop button on the Lucid on the outside. Anyway, let's roll. So we've got some distance to cover. Let's freaking do it. 197. And I'll actually take a look. We might go farther because it says 86 miles on arrival, which is plenty. That's what, 20%? If we can keep going, we'll keep going. I'll see how far we can stretch it. Another bug with Lucid is when you lose service, like we have no cell service right here, highway assist no longer works. I don't know why. Maybe the pre-mapping, I guess, would be the only reason. But yep, we're here in the middle of a road that should have highway assist and doesn't work because no pre-mapping is available because of no service. Bummer. Now we have service back and highway assist is available. Hey, we're good. Oh wait, I turned it off. Long press to activate that one. Now we're back on. Now we're rocking. Welcome here up Donner Pass, and my eyes are just wide open. The scenery out this massive windshield has been amazing. Something about the snow coming in up here, plus the Lucid's awesome headlights. I don't know, feels so cool. I'm just like trying to soak it in. I'm actually driving slower so I can enjoy the scenery even more. You've got the ski hills right there. It's so cool. That sunset in the background. Oh my gosh, absolutely amazing. We're down here at 14% state of charge, and we were going to stop in Truckee, but we've got plenty of juice. We can actually go 68 miles and we'd still arrive at 10% state of charge. I certainly am realistic about electric cars and happy to say where they're good and not good, but one area that they're fantastic in is going downhill. Here we've got one of the ski hills. So sick. We're able to drive 67.5 miles on less than 4%. Cool. Let's see how accurate it is. But Trip Planner and Lucid has been bang on solid. It doesn't super love wind, but as long as it's no wind and you drive consistently, which is like, 10 over the speed limit, something like that, it's rock solid. This number has figured out the car, the driving, the conditions, and it's been wonderful. So let's continue down. The smooth mode on the suspension is soaking up all these secondary road inputs better than any car I've ever been in. It is so unbelievably well tuned for highway cruising, and the scenery is just breathtaking. It's so cool. Very lucky to be able to do this drive in the Lucid. It's something I won't ever forget. I do this drive all the time, but something about the lighting conditions and the snow and the car makes it so cool and very memorable. This is one hell of a road tripping vehicle. And off we go then on the downhill, using that good regen to hold us back. And look at the freaking views off in the distance. The sky is unbelievable. All right, enough blabbering from me. Back to cruising. Holy smokes, what the hell? I've never seen so many Electrify America stations in my life. Who are you kidding me? This is when Costco, I guess, partnered with EA to install these. Holy smokes. Anyway, the car routed us here. I was thinking we could stretch it farther because we still have 11%. That was actually incredible. So we did 272 miles and got almost 4 miles per kilowatt hour. We lost a ton of elevation, and it's also much warmer out. And it just goes to show you that there's never a single range for an electric car. This was almost the same distance. This is disgusting, by the way. I don't know what's going on here, but what? Anyway, this is almost the same distance that we did last night, going from 100% to 10% when we got in Wyoming at our first stop. And we just did this one from 75 to 11. So it really shows how the Lucid Air has massive range. I mean, the speeds were a little bit lower because we're going into California, a little bit more dense traffic. But I mean, we were still ripping through Nevada. It's not too unusual. It's just weather and loss of elevation, and also coming down here, lower speeds. But it just goes to show that when it says 500 miles on the box or 300 miles when you buy your car, it is completely dependent on driving conditions. So my impression, if you're going to road trip, always just go for the most amount of range you can. It gives you the most flexibility. And of course, the faster charging. I would always choose faster charging over more range, but ideally you want both. So let's get this plugged in. I wonder if the Costco ones support plug and charge. Our screen is wigging out, but hey, not much to complain about. And they've even built in overcapacity. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah. Okay, I have plugged in. I don't know what the heck is going on here with our screen, but it says authorized, and we are initiating charging. Man, that is how charging should be. Charging's been pretty good this trip. I really think we should say we moved a couple times to try and get higher power, or I should say we moved once, but then one of the cabinets was down one of the times. But these new BTC chargers, the screens seem to be really buggy. I don't know, they seem to be more reliable. Like that has a dead screen down there on that unit. But hey, who can complain when there's this many chargers? This should be the standard base installation, especially if electric cars are going to get more popular. So let's see how fast we're charging. We're doing, hell yeah, 264. We're ramping, 267. Let's go, baby. It preconditioned for a while coming here. Just seems like the Lucid has a very narrow thermal window as to when it wants to accept high power. 281 kilowatts, 282, 283. It's going up at 13%. We should still see 300 kilowatts. Light bar is doing its little thing. And this is our final charging stop of the trip. And what a cool one. This Costco branded, I mean, we literally are at a Costco, but there's nothing else to do here. Oh, there's even 2 more over there. What the heck? They put 2 more over there. And we are ramping 311, 312. Still not the highest. Why would you park right next to me when there's no one else? You can go anywhere else. 315, 316. I think this is now the highest we've seen this trip, or close to it. 317. This car, we've seen a peak of over 340 kilowatts on this one, and on a previous GT, I've seen 351. Seems like that's all we're going to get out of this thing, but 7 kilowatt hours, 318. Oh boy, she's ripping. So, yeah, please don't leave your carts and trash here. Whoever did this, it's just nasty. 316, 315. So that was our peak, 317 or so. Well, I'm going to let this thing charge up for another 10%. That's all we need to go the next 200 miles or so over to HQ. It shouldn't be too far of a trip. I think, yeah, 19%. We should probably only need 30-ish. I'm going to take a look here in a second. The car just locked as I got into it. That was weird. Hello, Jordan. So my key or phone key must be hooked up to the wrong profile because I keep having to switch it back. But we're still doing 300 kilowatts at 20%. Can't complain about that. That's awesome. Let's switch back profiles again. Oh boy, this is what I've been waiting for. Seeing a spot like this, this is great. This guy plugged in and then didn't authorize his charger, and maybe he's doing it through his Mercedes touchscreen. Interesting. I think you can set up plug and charge on the GLBs, or EQBs, excuse me. All right, let's see how far away it is from where we need to go. Nav, pulling everything up. Search here. My route. Okay, it says it wants us to get to 41% to make it there at 10%. So that's 20 more percent state of charge. It's 129 miles. We should be able to do that at 30%. I don't know why we would need 40. And they certainly have charging at Lucid HQ. I know because I've been there. There we are, 280. I'm staying at a hotel nearby. Jordan's actually going there too. So I'm going to have him check to see if there's chargers as soon as he arrives in like 5 minutes. So with all that said, I have to pee, but I don't know where to go. I do have a Costco membership, but I don't have my card on me. And so that's kind of annoying. There's no amenities here. So I may stop at a little rest stop on the way into Lucid HQ to pee. But for now, we'll just let this charge up a little bit. And this right here is proof that payment failures are the #1 cause of charging complaints. This guy just doesn't even know he's not charging. He's just sitting in his car, playing around on his phone, not plugged in. I'm going to give him like 5 minutes. I don't want to just bug people, especially here in California. People are weird if you just go up and talk to them. Anywhere else in the country, they're cool. Not to rag on Californians, but y'all deserve it sometimes. So, yeah, we're down to 250 kilowatts. Not that great at 30%, but not terrible, not terrible. And, yeah, we'll charge up until it thinks we can make it. So I'm going to remove charging stops, obviously, and it should tell us where we will run out, which is pretty damn close. So we just want to get it almost to there, and then we can go. All right, well, that was a quick one. 7 minutes later, we're good to go. It says we'll get there at 5%, and that's really all we need because they do have charging at the hotel, and it's across the street from Lucid HQ. Again, please clean up all your shit. This is nasty, but ready to rock and roll. So we're down to 217 kilowatts at 37%. We'll hit stop, and that should be the final stop of the trip. Hello and welcome to the final clip of this video. You join me at the Aloft outside of Lucid headquarters as I've just was on the phone with Jordan, so I didn't film pulling in or anything, but I just got here at 5% state of charge and plugged into this Clipper Creek unit, which Jordan said was full. And so my plan was actually to shuttle this over to the Lucid headquarters, which is right across the street, but actually this opened up, so it's perfect. So let's see what we got here for trip stats. If I come here to settings, vehicle, trip information, 1,233.9 miles. We averaged 3 miles per kilowatt hour, which I think is very reasonable considering the speeds and what we were doing. We used 402 kilowatt hours to do that trip. And the cameras died. The last thing that happened with the car was the surround view died, all the cameras died pulling in here. So definitely some glitches here at the end. But I'm going to run in and pee because I still haven't done that. And then I will actually do the final clip. So I lied to you. The next clip will be the final clip with my final thoughts on the road trip. And you know what? I'll probably wait until daytime and film that tomorrow. So good night from my side. We'll let this thing charge up. I'll set a charge limit to 80% or 70%. I can't imagine this car is going to have much until it gets sold after us. I don't think it'll be loaned to anyone. So it's really nice to have a long-termer from Lucid to pile all these miles on. And I will definitely miss this car, especially having the opportunity to road trip it now. Wow, this thing is definitely not perfect. It's not compromised, nothing, because that's what they keep saying. There's a lot of compromises, but it's really freaking awesome. Hello and welcome now to the final clip of this video, the actual final clip. And Jordan joins me behind the camera. And it's sort of, this is the last time we'll ever drive this car, Jordan.
I'm feeling something.
So you told me a fun story about this one.
Yeah.
Which is the day we got this car. Are we sharing this story?
Yeah.
Okay, you can share it.
The day we got this car is the day I met my girlfriend, I guess, online.
Yeah.
So she's very sentimental about it leaving.
So hopefully the day this car goes back is not the day Jess goes back.
Yeah. Hopefully that wasn't conditioned on me having this car around.
So anyway, you know, just about 1,300 miles of driving from my side. Jordan, you've road tripped this car a few times as well, and that's what this thing is built to do. The highway driving is absolutely second to none, the way this thing cruises. The driver assistance, surprisingly, is really good, Jordan, only on straight roads.
Right.
Which was most of my trip. Although through the mountains, it would like slow down way too much for the corners. It would get all confused, and it's like, we keep talking today quite a bit about Lucid's tagline of compromise nothing. But I feel like there's a lot of compromises.
There are, yeah.
And so I just, you know, really hope Gravity doesn't have those compromises. We saw Gravity absolutely shredding out on the road, looked amazing. So can't wait to have a go in that in a short period of time. And, you know, that's kind of the end of the trip in the air. It was incredible how much cold weather affects all electric cars, of course, but it just felt like as the conditions improved, the range and efficiency got way better on this one. The stretches towards the end got longer. And that's where I really think like this thing can be charger hopped out of spec style. But Jordan, I think the best thing with this car is to do long stretches and then deep charges.
Yep.
And just, you know, charge it up to 80% or so, get lunch, occupy yourself, pick your charging station. The thing is, the range allows you to pick which charger you want to stop at. So you can stop at a charger that has the amenities you're looking for, do a deep charge, and then go for another 3 or 4 hours. It's really nice to be able to do some of that. I do have to say that we got to the hotel, I plugged it in, Jordan and I went driving around, and then the charger was taken by a plug-in hybrid.
And even then, it was a 6 kilowatt Clipper Creek that would have gotten you maybe half a battery overnight. So
right. So we've learned hotels, even though it's a nice free amenity, it would be great to pay and have higher amperage AC charging, in my impression.
Yeah.
Other than that, car's great. Really cool car. Perfect for this kind of thing. I mean, it really comes down to if you need the space, if you want the comfort, this is in a league of its own, I would say, compared to Taycan. Taycan is faster on the road trip, no question. I think easier to optimize, gives you all the nerd data, but most EV drivers are not driving in the way to optimize Taycan. They're just cruising and they're plugging in. They don't care about the charging speed, and then it's totally fine. So there's definitely room for improvement, as we've learned throughout this video, but the air has gotten way better than the first time we've tested it. And you know, that kind of wraps up the bow on our 15,000 mile review on this thing, Jordan. It's been eye-opening. It's been really good overall.
And we've done everything with it. So I feel like I know this car more than I've known a lot of cars.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the best way to test it. We really need, realistically, 10,000 miles to fully test an electric car.
Yep. And
we got it with this one, and now we hand the keys back. I have no idea what's going to happen to it now, but we ran it through the car wash this morning, and now we charged it up at EA because we left it overnight at what? 6% we parked it?
we woke up with 4%.
Woke up at 4%, so that could either be BMS or drain, not sure which. And we went to EA, waited in line, charged it up, and that's that. So goodbye, Lucid. Thanks so much for watching this out of spec motoring road trip video. See you in another one again soon. Bye-bye.